Muted. Anyway, I didn't say anything important. So you guys, you didn't miss anything. You did not miss anything. Which rook? I'm taking challenges. Okay. Blitz challenges 5 plus X, where X is between 1 and 5. For the mathematically oriented. Welcome to America, to MURICA, the great America. I'm in Hungary where, you know, things are marginally better. Alright, it's very cold here. You thought it was you? No. I forgot to turn the sound on. It's very deep. Very, very deep stuff. I guess I just played King H5. Okay. As we wait, while we wait, I'm just doing a couple puzzles to wake up. Here, this is Puzzle Streak. Easy peasy. Oh no, Mr. Rook. Wait a minute, this is weird. Oh, that's the idea. Very deep. Check. Oof. That hurts. Check, it hurts. Always check, it hurts. It's fun to do these easy puzzles. Yeah, we have a lot of snow here. Well, I mean, for here we have a lot of snow. Not really a lot, but, you know, a few inches of snow. And it's not melting, which is usually it melts right away. Because it's very cold. So, very unusual for Hungary. For Budapest, anyway. There are polar bears at the zoo in MURICA that had never seen snow before. It's like a viral video about bears in the zoo in northeast Hungary. These polar bears are born, I don't know how old they are, and they've never seen snow. That's pretty cool. So, alright. We've got easy peasy puzzle streak just to get warmed up. I love easy puzzles in the morning. I love the smell of easy puzzles in the morning. Like Dennis Hopper. Should be good enough. Oops, there it goes. Ah, I should trade the rook first. That's my rook. I thought that was your rook. Okay. Returning chatter? Oh, you're a returning chatter now. Why is Pilly called a returning chatter, like, nonstop? That's weird. Why is it doing that? It's annoying. Everything you say is called returning chatter. I mean, that's... Why is it repeatedly doing that? Oh, my neck hurts. I need, like, a neck brace or something. So, this is my only morning stream of the week. And, you know, I call it morning. Anyway, I'm not going to do another puzzle run. Whatever it's called. Puzzle streak. That was just a wake up. I've been awake for over an hour, but I mean, mentally not really awake. I just had a coffee. It helps, but still the brain fog, you know. So if y'all would like to challenge the master to 5 plus 1 through 5 plus 5, whatever. 5, 1 through 5 plus 5, or even 5, you know, 30 seconds, whatever. 5, 1 through 5 plus 5, and casual. If that's what we're trying to do today. If not, I can, like, jump in a stupid arena or something. Stupid arena. Rapid. Could play one rapid game. Okay, Mad NPC is playing. Never mind. Alright, stupid arena, cancelled. Mad NPC. Wonder if it's snowing in Belgrade. Do you guys even have snow in Belgrade? Do you even live in Belgrade? Do you even have snow in Belgrade? Belgrade is significantly south of Budapest. So, you know, usually the temperature's a bit warmer. Not a lot, but a little. Enough to perhaps make a difference. Not really. So, Budapest is the southern limits of the snow. The snow zone, it would seem. Maybe somewhere like Zagreb. I don't know. Zagreb is more like west. I don't know why you're getting the returning chatter. How do I make it stop saying returning chatter all the time? That's kind of annoying to look at. You're not a returning chatter. You just sent in 5 chats. Was it you I had the game against before? Did we have this? You played e5 and I played bishop g4, right? Mm-hmm. There's so many different ways to play against the c3 type stuff. Now I've got another challenge from Redusa. Now this is what you did last time that was very bad. We had a bad version of this for white where you did h3, which is a no-no. Keep in mind I haven't played bishop g7 yet. That's always interesting. Yeah, so if I play bishop g7, bishop b5 check, knight d7, that's an interesting idea. That's, there was this Kaidanov game I saw where Greg was white, and his opponent played knight d7, which I think is like a newer idea. And it appears to be okay for black. Not to allow the damage to my pawns that happens after like knight c6, bishop takes c6, b takes c. But I don't know too much about this. You know, I've been playing a lot of different stuff. I play like 5 different systems against the c3 in these accelerated dragons. You know, h3 I think is overrated. That's probably a move that doesn't do you a lot of good. It should generally be avoided. Although sometimes you have to do it. You probably have a better option there. Years ago I had this game with Boris Kryman, who's a punk, and many years ago, like 25 years ago. And when I first started playing this opening, and he was knight d2, you know, like to not allow the queen to have to be brought to, you know, to f3. This queen is very misplaced on f3. That's the issue really with white's position. It's drawn away from protecting d4, but most importantly, it's not well placed on f3. It doesn't really fit in there, you know. So be it. But okay, my knight on d7 is also weirdly placed. And your bishop on b5. Well, everybody's pieces are on stupid squares. Except for the knights. The knights are okay. I mean, the knight on c3 and the knight on f5, they're okay. The other pieces are all, like white's pieces are on weird squares. Bishop b5, what does that do? You know, but my knight on d7 is bad. Anyway, welcome everybody. What's up? Let's get some hype train. Astrobeat's not here. It's Friday morning here in, well, I call it morning. What other people call early afternoon is morning for me because I just wake up very late. I completely do a late night schedule now. I mean, I start working at like midday. Midday is my morning. I pity the fool who has to wake up earlier than that. Yeah, this knight is freaking stupid. You are stupid, knight. Maybe I just go f6. You have knight f4. This is a controversial move. But sometimes it's very, you know, it allows black a lot of counterplay based on this. It's always controversial to attack that with punching. Yeah, I saw that. My idea was just to play queen e7, you know. BFD. So I'll protect everything. I'll protect that, I'll protect that, I'll protect that. Yeah, you're going to have to make a decision about the C5 business. What are you going to do with that? You know, you're going to have to trade. You're going to have to consign yourself to resolving the tension in the center. But I have a backward pawn on e6 that's kind of weak in many cases, so the jury's out. I don't know if black's better, equal, worse. Probably not worse. What do you guys want to do? Make fun of blogs? Make fun of other streamers? Focus on chess? Talk politics? America is a shit show. I'm ashamed to be an American. I just pretend I'm Canadian now. What else? Knight f4, queen e7. Yeah, what are you going to do? You have to take an f6. What other option is there? Honestly, are you looking for some sort of combo? Yeah, so I would like to attack that pawn on d4, but my knight on d7 is so bad. This is almost like a miracle, if you think about it. My knight got to that square. Okay, his knight also has a good path. You know, maybe knight d3, knight e5. This is in the dryer, right? Now, anonymous player. Greetings. A really bad crick in my neck. I can't. I don't feel comfortable. Okay, knight e4. Blocker, and I'm pressuring that nugget on d4, which is black's main idea, you know, really in this entire system. You got nothing, bud. You're lucky if you're not worse here. But how do I finish him off? Well, there's some stuff on the F file. Man, this F file looks... Oh. 3 challenges, nice. Redusa, Pili, and R Director. RD Rector. Knight takes e3, pawn takes e3. That's pretty equal. Knight takes e4, bishop takes e4, rook takes f4. There's some complicated stuff going on here. This is going to be an issue. In the end of the day, you know, at the end of the day, the pawn is a problem in various ways. You know, like he can go here. This is on this. He has this. And I knew that was going to happen when I went into this, but I'm very active. On the other hand, so the question is, what about knight takes d4, bishop takes, rook takes f4. Well, he has a combo, knight takes d5. Shit. Knight d6, bishop d3. And this is annoying. I really need my thinking cap. Oh, that's the Jesse Cry thing, right? He puts on his thinking hat. It's so stupid. Alright, yeah, whatever. I don't know. I'm just tired. I don't know what to do. I should be at least equal here. Yeah, you found it. Wow. Tactical wavelength. Get. I didn't think that Mad NPC would be, you know, with the super sharp tactics necessarily. Huh. Oh shit. So we're gonna have a problem here? Not really. How do you want to guard that? Way to slightly better. Wow. 1683. It's one of those days. I failed to find anything. You know, I'm like equal at best. Or not. Or not even. Man, you had a winning move there. Phew, bro. You need to work on the tactics. Wow. He missed rook takes e4. See, I just did those tactics to warm up. I saw that too late. Rook takes e4, bishop c4, winning my queen. You win a piece. Clean. 1600. My butt, he's 1600. He's playing like a master. See, that's the weird thing about Man NPC. He goes from 1600 to master, one game to the next. That's very strange, you know. How do you do that? You like switch it off and switch it on again? I don't really understand. He's also like, what? Just dropped a piece. There, it turned off. He just dropped a piece. Oh. So if you didn't make one move tactical blunders, you'd be like 2000. Crazy. This whole game very good. For white, he gets 79 cent up on loss. Oh my god, why? That's like brutal. So he missed the first win, he hung a rook. So 2 giant blunders at the end. I just consistently played bad. I blundered a piece at one point. Boo, that's a bad game. But I'm curious about the opening mostly. We talked about this last time. I have a game in the database, and I don't understand why there's so few games, but it transposes now. After that, like I was saying, Kryman played knight on BD2 against me. I always thought this was kind of an annoying move, you know, to be honest. But, this is a newer idea. I was talking about this Kaidenov Perlstein 2008. This is still significantly better for white. So, I don't think this variation is solved for black. It's not solving the problem. We're not solving the problem there. We can't equalize in that line. No, you don't have a low floor. You're at the floor. And the floor's not that, it's not that uncomfortable. You can sleep on the floor. You're at your floor, in my opinion. 16 something. If you did like tons of puzzles every day, you would improve dramatically. And you would be like 1900, 2000. Oof, exchange variation, gross. Yeah. I have brain fog. I just play random stuff. But I mean, since when does Redusa play the Slav? What's that about? Why are you playing the Slav? Your repertoire is the Sveshnikov and the Grunfeld, but against the English you play the Slav? Doesn't make sense. Slav is dry and boring. Grunfeld, Sveshnikov, and Slav. I guess it's okay to have some solid options. This is like really old school. I never played the exchange variation of the Slav. It's like pathetically lame for white. But Roman GGS really used to play it a lot. You were winning the whole game. Come on. What are you talking about? I was better at one point in the middle. But I was worse in the beginning and I was worse in the end. So that's hardly winning the whole game. So watching Roman play the Exchange Slav years ago, I picked up a few things, but it's just extremely dry and technical. Oh, you're talking to Pilly. Sorry. Text is so hard to grasp the yeah. Context is the word I'm looking for. The word I'm looking for I can't say. Pawn takes. I didn't want to play the exchange style. I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me. So c4, c6, knight f3, knight f6, knight c3, d5. And then I'm so bored of playing against a Slav. I just randomly did this. And I was going to play g3, but I realized it's just terrible. You know, he has d4. So now we have a problem. Speaking of terrible, this is interesting. Whole different animal now. So I'm seriously thinking about like e4. Oh shit, he has knight c5. Okay, e4 is out. No, what am I thinking about? B takes... Castle queenside. That looks safe. Queen takes a7. No. Here the e4 takes, knight takes. He has e4, knight c5. It's a very strong rejoinder, so e4 is out. Castles. So we got opposite color bishops, and I think the important thing to recognize there is that material goes out the window to a degree when you play opposite color bishops. Compared to a normal position where there's no opposite color bishops, material is like slightly less important in terms of like pawn, extra 2 pawns, whatever. The initiative matters more. It's a very sharp type of scenario, so... Obviously, taking on a7 was terrible because of, yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. I had some weird hallucination. Taking on a7 was terrible because of bishop d3. Taking on a7 was possible, actually, but it was greedy. You know, I don't think it's a really solid thing to do. e4 still interesting. I don't think it does anything. My name is Lucas. What's that? Weezer? Whoa, my name is... What's my name again? My name is Slim Shady. Whoa, E4 is a different story now. It's a different animal. You are an animal. The problem with E4 before was that, you know, it was just like ineffective. He would just ignore it, you know. Now I'm tearing apart his D5 strong point. You can't ignore that, dude. That's the problem. There's a huge difference between E4 now and E4 a move ago before black played C5. No, it's much more tempting. See, you don't want to lose your strong point on D5, but you're probably going to have to. Bye-bye, Mr. Strong Point. See how important strategy is? It's much more important than tactics. Rook takes E4 was cool indeed. No, you had rook takes E4, but I mean, that's not my main issue. You know, my main issue is that I misplayed the entire position, it looks like. I couldn't find the right idea. You know, I know that I was slightly better, but I blanked. I just pulled a complete blank. You know, I couldn't come up with anything. And I knew what I was doing was nothing. You know, and then I blundered rook takes E4 too. But I'd already lost the thread. You know, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, C3 against the accelerated dragon. It's a good line. Move 11 just suggested another line to me the other day. And so now it's interesting. The dynamic changes, right? So now we've got bishop versus knight. But that's not a good knight, and it's not a good bishop. But those are temporary status, right? Holistic pawn structure. He doesn't care. Okay. Well, I care. It's a central pawn. Now I'm better. Now I am a lot better. You are. Knight b6. Yeah, I'm just begging for it there. See, I gotta stop being materialistic. Wow. Shifting sands of time. Jeez. Jeez Louise. You see what that e5 pawn can do? Look at that. Suddenly black is virtually lost. A ready-made attack. Can you believe it? Back rank? Back rank, anybody? Oh no. If I can put my shit together, I can play good chess. And this is fatal. You are fatally dead. D4 instead. Maybe. No, but I mean, I don't know what you guys are having your own conversation over there. Okay, I'm not gonna even read these. If you don't say my name, I'm just ignoring it. Did you have a move there? Not really. Okay. We need to kill him now. Back rank. Branky. Oh no. Now the caveman approach would be G4, but I have a simpler method in mind. This was a good game. All right. You got a simple position where it was equal objectively. Look at that. The main move for white is bishop d3. Come on. Bishop d3, bro. That's the sickest move of all time. Queen b3. So this is weird. I mean, Roman always played bishop e5. And the move has a negative score for white. Come on with a negative score. It can't have a negative score. How does white have a negative... You know why white has a negative score? Come on, guys. You were talking to me, actually. This is not a London. It's an Exchange Slav, which is almost as bad. But, guys, raise your hand. Why does white have a negative score in the opening explorer with this move? Anyone? Anyone? Even though white is better, why does white have a negative score in the sample size of 676 games over the board? It's the same reason that people have like a negative score with the Smith-Morra, which is objectively like equal. Because only people who suck play this opening. Simple truth, you know. It's like the Exchange French or the Smith-Morra. It's a crappy opening. I mean, it just sucks. It's unpromising for white, you know. So these people are like playing for a draw. It's like the Exchange French. You know, Jesse Cry. You know, he has a point in playing the Exchange Slav because I think that people underestimate it probably. But again, Roman played this all the time, and it was like tedious to watch him. Yeah, but black's immediately going wrong with rook c8. Still, my teammate in our board one for April, Leonid Sokolin. Wow, Leonid Sokolin had a game with Nihal Sarin. Where would he have played Nihal Sarin? Could that have been like an online tournament or something? What the fuck? World Rapid 2018 St. Petersburg. Wow. Wow, okay. World Rapid, Leonid lost with white. See? That's what happens when you play for a draw or something. Okay, Nihal Sarin is a really good player, but Leonid doesn't necessarily play for a draw either. Okay, knight e5 here. This is exactly what happened in their game. And now queen a4 is dubious. Wow, this is what Leonid did too. This is the exact same game. This is better for black. I didn't think it was that bad. Ah, Leonid took with the bishop. Okay. So I'm the first person to play pawn takes. Yeah, I mean, bishop takes is lame. He's trying to play safe against Nihal Sarin. But this is much more interesting, honestly. So see what I'm talking about here after knight d7, bishop takes c6. Immediately, like, Radusa has a tough choice between taking with the rook and taking with the pawn. You know, I don't know which way he should take back. But see, this is, the computer says black is slightly better. Okay, fine, but it's sharp. So, I don't know which way you should take back. B takes c. And now queen a3 or castles. And now my bishop is worse than your bishop. But queen b6, not the greatest move. I had e4 right away. And then after this, boom, white's got a like clear advantage. That's how fast like things can go wrong. All right. Pili. 5 plus 2, 5 plus 2, 5 plus 5, 5 plus 5. All right, I got to remember. I'd like to give you guys a choice. I'd like to give you a choice which time control to play. Yeah, sometimes you have to consider the factors when you look at the statistics about an opening. Not all, openings are created equal. Screw the Najdorf, man. Really hard to play the Najdorf. I'm trying, but it's kind of a lot to absorb. I play a lot of different versions of the Sicilian. Always have. Oh. So. Gross. Even grosser. Alright, so I think, therefore I am. You know, I don't have to take that pawn, if I remember correctly. There is another option here. I think, therefore I am. It's so weird not having acerbate here. Now at this point, black can even go berserk with like all sorts of crazy shit. But I believe that our plan was the straightforward. It's basically a scotch. Isn't that weird? It became a scotch for knights. But, okay, but we have a move. Queen h4. Totally insane in the membrane. Queen h4 psychopathic move. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Queen h4 g3. Might even be good. Queen h4 g3. What the hell's my plan? Queen h3, bishop f1, and then what? Queen h5. Okay, I might not have any other choice. I'm committed now to this. g3, queen h3. Bishop f1. This is a very bad move. It's a very bad move. So you have to play g3. I play queen h3. You play bishop f1. I go back to like h5, and then you can put your bishop on g2. Actually, I think I'm kind of screwed there. You know, I mean, we'll look after the game, but I think I'm in big doo-doo. Really deep doo-doo. After that move. You take the bishop, but I feel like I'm going to minimize my risk here. We got a pleasant endgame, 2 bishops. Black slightly better. Are you threatening me? Can I see the future? ICE, the future. Hot potato on the D file. I think we can navigate that. Go for king centralization in the endgame. Safer to play bishop e6. Right? Pilium. No relation to Cheesy Noob. Cheesy Noob is higher rated and has a really bizarre style that's hard to miss. France has huge snow, right? England with a giant snowstorm. Even as far south here as Budapest, we're freezing our asses off. Guys, subscribe now. Mielo Baja, California. Life's too short to play the Caro-Kann. Right. My plan was Don't know. I don't remember. Okay. So, see, I don't really want to trade bishops. That's the problem. I may not have a choice, though. He can't have everything. I might have to accept the fact that he has the ability to trade bishops here to take away my bishop pair. But I still think that my bishop is probably superior to a knight with pawns on both sides of the board. You know, my pawn structure is not really bad. I have an isolated A pawn, but that's a minor detail. Yeah, but what are you going to do about C2? Isn't that kind of the issue? My little pawny. Here. That looks bad. Oh no. Yeah. Two bishops. See, you should have traded out the bishop. I told you so. Now you're lost. You are lost. It is lost. Probably not high percentage chances of drawing this for white. Down a clear pawn. Protected passer in the middle. Two bishops. And I don't really want to trade the bishops anymore, but I could if I want to. If I have to. F6 is bad. So we don't play F6. We play G6. The beauty of the two bishops is that you can play on either color complex. The opponent cannot predict where they're going to be attacked. Light squares, dark squares. I can attack on both color complexes. You could just like put your pawns on one color and be like, okay, I'm safe, you know. That's not happening. Check. No. I don't know. Your king, my king. Middle of the board. Oh, that hurts. Okay. Centralize. Now. Now what? We have everything. Extra pawn, invasion of the body snatchers, this, push, the dual pistoleros. That's a nice move. Very nice. I probably should have played a different move there. Because now he has some counterplay. This is a mistake. I don't know what I should play. Bishop A3, an interesting move. I could have played A5. Maybe it was the right thing to do. I don't know. Yeah, B4 is the best. This is a strong move. It's a problem. That is the problem. So we're still better. I should probably be winning, but it's not so easy. Time. Players are bored. Hi. How are you? Okay. Now I can exchange. This looks pretty straightforward. Because I have a sort of force field going on. There's nothing he can do about this. Bishop f2 is probably winning. H5 also very strong. Sensei, nice to see you. Nice to hear you. Nice to see your text. No. Take that. That's alright. I know you devastated my pawn structure. Yes. You were lost. So let's see the opening. Remind me of this line, right? My best game today. There was a little issue there. There was an issue on Queen H4. I knew Queen H4 was bad. Queen H4 was bad. Okay, so let's see. Coffee house capture. No one really good has ever played this for a reason. Bokrosh played it once and lost. He's a friend of mine. It's not a good idea. And this Mazur guy, Mazurkist, overrated. Yeah, so who played Knight G4? Andy Muir? I have seen this before. No. No, it's an Iranian, I guess. This is not good. Oh my god, are you serious? Wow. I thought it was good. It's not good. Unbelievable. It's not the best. Unbelievable. I misremembered this. I should take the pawn. So Knight G4 is a mistake. Wow. You learn something new every day. I thought it was good. Black won the one game where this was played. It's playable, it's interesting, but it's not the best move. I usually take. This is a stupid endgame. Michael Haddonfield. Mark Haddonfield. Heidenfeld. So, interesting. I had misremembered this. The other possibility is going to D7, which is what Turzo did, but it's also passive. Yeah, this is stupid. It's passive, so I have to take. Okay, interesting. I didn't remember that. That's funny. Nefidov is here. Gobble roll mops. Roll mop models. Roll model mops. All right, Nefidov. Oh my God! Thank God he's not white. And no exchange Slav. What am I gonna do with them? Super greedy and play bishop f5. I'm just, I misevaluated Queen H4. It was a momentary, overconfidence on my part. Oh, okay, C5 now. Nefedov playing the Sicilian. Nefro. Nef. Paul. Pal Mal. Thank you for the game anyway. Yeah, okay, Knight G4 is a common idea from the 11-fish variation of the dragon. The same theme happens in 11-fish dragon, and I thought that Knight G4 was good, but it's not. Nice to know. Okay, so this is known, and I don't know what the... Well, I don't think that it's dangerous, but it's playable for white. It was very trendy about 20 years ago. 2000. That's 25. So it was trendy 25 years ago. Okay. My bad. It was trendy 26 years ago. H6 is a bit passive. Black doesn't have to do that. Although I don't know if I can really take advantage of it. We can try, right? Now there's a matchup like I would have liked to have seen. You know, Spassky versus Nefedov. Who do you like in that matchup? Spaskudov. Spaskudov. I like that. That sounds cool. All right. Are you threatening knight a5? I don't care. Do I care? No. So Nefedov is usually playing e4, e5. You know, and if he plays knight c3, c5, it raises a strange question. Why doesn't he play knight c3, e5? Maybe he does, but he just wasn't thinking today. I would think in a serious game he would go 1 e5 based on his normal opening repertoire. So what's our plan? F4? How bad is knight c3? Well, knight c3 allows d5. That's black's best move. And Nefedov is also inclined to sometimes play queen-pawn-like positions. So he should certainly consider knight c3, d5 black's subjectively best move. I think that c5 is a strange choice. He could play e5, he could play d5, but he chooses to play c5, even though c5 is not his normal, you know, e4 repertoire either. It's a strange choice. Okay, so now rook b8. I'm not sure this is the right idea, but it's an idea. It's a common idea. I'm effectively playing the Vienna game. So now Nefedov could feel maybe more comfortable. He's got a structure based on e5. It looks like a Vienna game. For me, it helps a lot to play positions that are familiar. I feel like with Nefedov, it doesn't matter as much as I thought. You know, he doesn't seem to care that much if he gets new types of positions. he seems to be more adaptable than the average bear. I mean, for a guy, I'll say this, for a guy with a pretty limited repertoire, very strict sort of repertoire, Nefedov doesn't seem to mind getting into different sorts of positions. Whereas most people would be more like upset about it. But he's not most people. So queen h5, triple attack. How about developing my pieces? What's the center? Knight f5. I want to develop my freaking pieces, but bishop g5 is coming. And what am I going to do about it? Limited time only. b5 is in the works for black here. Bishop g5 is going to be extremely annoying. So why don't we prophylaxis? Let's go back first. Let him decide what to do. Then we'll decide what to do. Does it anyway, okay? But now I have options. Lots of options. Lots so. Lotso the bear. Alright. He just starts the Nefedov thing where he attacks you just continuously. One threat after another. It's a new Leonardo DiCaprio film. Yep. Almost a threat. It's practically a threat. What's my big idea? Or whatever. I mean, this has got to be played eventually. It's just amazing how Nefedov adapts to a new opening he's never played before. How often can he face knight c3? Seriously. Thanks for the New Year wish. Not Pabu. Happy New Year to you. How often can Nefedov face one knight c3? Most people don't even have a repertoire against that move. You know, they're like, just they make it up as they go. And I mean up until the 2200 level. Because it's so infrequently played. Looks like he's equal. Still. Had a very similar game the other day, you know, oddly enough. Who was that against now? C3 drops material. This is inspired by Asterbait. When I first started working with Asterbait, one of our regular viewers, he was playing the so-called Baudelaire attack all the time with white. We see this type of thing all the time. Fine. Be that way. incredible. How do you like my diagonal? Still equal. I wonder if I should sort of consider going back to A2. Wow. Very inconsistent. But the position has changed. I guess I missed 95 there. I have all my pieces behind the pawn chain. He has 3 pieces outside the pawn chain. The pawn chain domain. The domain of the pawn chain. Domain poisoning. Don't do it. Don't sack a piece. That'd be funny if he played bishop takes. Now rook takes loses to knight h5, so I have to take with the queen. Yeah, it's funny stuff going on here. Funny haha. He's still hanging on. Oh. He didn't like bishop c3. No. Okay. Well, mostly pawn time related loss for Nefedov. He was doing fine almost the whole game. As you can see, he was even better. He was clearly better. Played a perfect game. He played a perfect game up until move 19. And I thought even bishop d7 was reasonable. And now my bishop a2 was a blunder, but I don't know why. Because he has c4. And so even here he's okay. He decided to trade his bishop on f4. I don't know why. Well, time. He was down to 14 seconds. You know, it's all just time. Yeah, it's very Fisher Random-like. What's up with the opening, by the way? There's a couple of games. Julio Granda played like Nefedov. This Albanian guy, Shaitai. Knight h7. The computer claims that I have a tiny edge here. So it looks like I should resolve the tension with the dark square bishop. The tension was annoying. I mean, going forward, it was very annoying. But black is solid. All right, anyway. Sung Prism. Prism of Sung. Guys, please subscribe and follow. Americans. Are there any Americans here? American? Wake the fuck up if you're from America. MURICA, and you know what I'm talking about. All right. We haven't played a 3am defense in a long time. Not Pabu is from America. Yeah, unfortunately. Unfortunately is right. I'm from America too. It's horrible what's happening. Every day like a horror show that just gets worse. Just when you think you can't get worse, it gets worse every day. People should be on the streets just like demanding like the government resign. All right. So Sun Prism did kind of like the standard gut reaction that a lot of people do here, which is not really good for white. Not great. Not the best. I'm only 19M. 19M. All right. $19 medium. I don't know which way to play this. It's been a while. I haven't been practicing, but knight h6 is not a good move for black, but it's a practical opening for blitz. I could probably play this opening in like hourly arenas and destroy people. I've done it before. All right, bishop e5 check. Black has to react. I mean, white rather has to react after d5. Best move for white here is pawn takes pawn. The second best move for white is knight to c3. And the third best move is bishop takes h6. But after bishop takes h6, the best move for white, again, is either pawn takes pawn or knight c3. The e5 is not good. You have a kind of lame... After this, you get a lame advanced French. So this is more or less what black is sort of basing the whole thing on. Maybe an inaccuracy by me. Hopefully it's not serious. Probably it's not serious. Instead of that, though, I should play queen b6, I would guess. It looks like e6 might be a slight inaccuracy. So I played this because Sun Prism, you know, he seems to react pretty well against standard stuff. And I haven't played this in a long time. I played it in Rapid, and I lost to a pretty good player. I played it in a classical game against an IM strength player, and I luckily drew. I had another draw in an over-the-board game. And I had another draw with a good player in Rapid. I'm trying to think if I've ever beaten a good player with it. Only in Blitz. Not in a classical or Rapid game. Let's invade Greenland. Yeah, immigration's officials should have complete immunity for just murdering whoever they want on the street. That's totally acceptable. This administration would defend anything. Like Donald Trump joked when he first ran for president that he could kill someone on Fifth Avenue in New York City and get away with it. That like reality is like basically happening now, you know? It's just ridiculous. People ask me like, how did you know to leave the United States? It was a coincidence. I was just lucky. It's like the only thing I've been lucky about. Although Hungary isn't great either, to be fair. Hungary is not the bastion of democracy. I was thinking, why didn't I move back to the United States? And it comes down to a kind of funny, sort of random thing that happened, you know, when I was playing online poker a lot back around 2010, 2011, and 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012. In and around there, when they banned online poker, or they stopped online poker in the States, I think if that had not happened, maybe there was a chance I would have moved back to the States. But as it turned out, like when I was really playing a lot of online poker, they blocked online poker in the U.S. And so I was kind of lucky that I could play here in Hungary. So there was no thought of like, that was my best moment to go back, probably around 2010. And so there was no real consideration on my part to move back to the United States. So I ended up buying an apartment here instead. Just on a random, you know, because of basically a random thing, you know. It's like I could keep playing online poker. I was just thinking about this week. Life is like that, you know, a lot of funny things that just come down to dumb luck or sort of random occurrences. So that's why I stayed here ultimately for longer than I intended to. Hungary is struggling right now. Well, it's not just Hungary. I mean, you know, all of Eastern Europe, really. If you look at like Slovakia, Hungary, obviously Serbia, even Czech Republic. Czech Republic is much better off economically, but they have a right-wing government now too. So it's like, yeah. I mean, all of Central Europe, Central Eastern Europe has failed to really totally get away from the totalitarianism. We keep getting these like totalitarian sort of leaders. Slovakia, Czech Republic, Hungary, Serbia. It's never the very, very brief period when there was a democracy in Hungary, basically. Very brief period. You could say between like 91 and like 99, or I don't know. I mean, it's scary. But I don't think it's just Hungary. Okay. I was talking with some writers and philosophers at New Year's party. A lot of people who are really, really tuned in to politics, and you know, the impression that you get, it's more of a kind of regional thing. Like the whole area never really converted properly from the Soviet influence to the democratic sort of Western side. But yeah, what's happening in the States is unbelievable. That's just insane. Okay, so how's our position here? We're better. It's a good French, if you will. But how good? I wonder about C4 objectively. Kind of risky. Well, anyway, it's a fast game. I don't have too much time. But I do think that playing c4 would change the position a lot. Something I normally don't do. Yeah, this is what I figured. So he goes for a Nimzovician type scenario. Sun Prism is yeah, here's an interesting position too. Bishop f8. Nah. I'm gonna have to give up my bishop for the Super Knight. Uber Knight. Takes to the rook, I go here. Yeah, my h6 pawn is weak, but so is your c3 pawn. And your c3 pawn is much more important than my h6 pawn. Well, somewhat more important, I would say, anyway. I keep thinking back to the last time I played Varouge Akobian on the white side of a classical French, and he had this stupid pawn on d5, you know. The French player, the really dedicated French player, you know, must emphasize a lot that pawn on d5 is like their game, you know. It's like existential. It makes black's position great again, so to speak. Okay, so what are we gonna do? You know, the one thing I haven't done, which needs to be addressed, is probably this. But I love the way the Sun Prism is playing overall. I love the way you're playing. Could be a sharp endgame. Rook h3, rook g4, rook h3, rook g6, f5. This is a sharp rook endgame. He plays f5 right away. Good, mistake, bad, blunder, exclamation point. I have no idea. But we're gonna find out. He's really low on time. I have rook g6. I also have rook g7. Maybe in this case rook e5 is better. We also have some threats against his king, possibly. Maybe I should defend this pawn. Fuck. Five pawns each. Okay. Now it feels like a typical kind of endgame. What are you doing? You just blundered a pawn? No, it's not so simple. This is not simple. Simple. Seems like he's improved a lot. But what about a check? What does this do for me? What did you do for me lately? Okay. Wow. Jesus Christ, dude. He just gets better and better. If I compliment my opponents enough, they'll usually crack. And what does this do? What? Slightly surprising that he did that. Just plays better and better, god damn it. Oh. Panic mode enabled. We actually got into crack. Okay. What a game. Look at that line. Look at the line. Look at the line. It's flat until move 49, move 50. I had 8 sent upon loss, 2 inaccuracies. One of them is knight h6, right? I played a good game. Bishop takes f3 was a mistake. Nobody's been playing this. Nobody took up my line. Wow, there's a game. Now, how did that happen? See, I said e6 was a mistake. I should play queen b6. I said this. This is a very, very important move. I should have played queen b6 right away. Anyway, all right. Paramzina, inspired by Sledgy. All right. Chazari rated? I don't think so. Oh no. Oh no, not the 1 day correspondence. Please no. Capo no increment. Gabel roll maps. All right. How much time do we have? Plenty of time. Wait, it's 1:52. Hungry. There's nobody in the chat. Simon says draw. Of course it was a draw. But, you know, Magnus is going to grind him there too. I'm just doing what Magnus would try to do. I'm just trying to be like my own mini Magnus. Oh my god, not again. Oh, you've got a new account. You've got a new account. Okay, last time he played this against me under a different name. That's a dead giveaway, man. It's a dead giveaway. People don't go around playing the Queen C2 Benko with white, you know. It's not something you see every day. But B4 is the best move. I played it against it under his. I played it against him on his other account. But it was a very close game. B4 leads to a very close game after Queen C2. So I wanted to try something a little different, a little more fluid. You know, it should be okay for black, I presume. This approach as well, a more natural, you might say, type of approach. I talked about the pawn on d5 last game in the French, and it's sort of the similar thing with the c5 pawn and the Benoni. That's like the backbone of black's position. It can win games though, and also the Benoni, but with the Benko is what I'm saying, not Benoni really. Okay, Benko. It's a little different in the Benoni because you play e6 and you have a backward pawn on d6 or whatever. This structure though, the Benoni, it looks like a scorpion. And the c5 is the tail part, the stinger. But so many endgames are like winning for black. I lost before because this pawn fucked me in the endgame. It's like a protected passer. If the b pawn goes, then c5 is a protected passer. You're threatening e5. Okay, so yeah, I've been here before. If roll mops. You know, that's funny. There's some site called... There's some book site. What was it? I don't know what that means in German. Gabel roll mops. Mini mops or something. There's some site you can order books from. Alright. Knight g4, I guess. I don't know what to do. I don't like knight b6. Oh my god, let the king get active. You should have got your king over to c2 and b3 faster before you let me push you back. It's a draw, but, you know, you have to be accurate. Mini mops. I could never guess who this was. Asterbate's not here to guess it for me. Alright, now F5 becomes our friend. Maybe. Very, very double-edged move. Not to be undertaken lightly. F5, F4, knight F7. Dangerous. But if I don't play it, white will go f4 himself. The other option is c4, acerbate style. c4, f4, knight d3, bishop d3, pawn d3, queen d3. I'm sacking a pawn for probably active pieces there. Let's try this. We go with the magic knight, the magic flute. Roll mops. My roll mops include Donald Trump, Vladimir Putin, and Viktor Orban. Roll mops. Roll mopples. Okay, the plan was knight f7, the guardian of g5. It's a good defender. You could view f5 on a strategic level as a means of undermining the d5 pawn. Of course, it's a complicated matter because it's pretty well protected. But you can knock out the knight sometimes with a very dangerous bishop takes c3, which should not be played under most circumstances. That I don't believe you can do that. You can do it, but I don't think it's right. I'm happy. I accept your offer of a pawn. Always glad to get a nice central pawn. Which way do I recapture? Well, that's an interesting question. Because he could have an exchange sack, like rook takes c5. Bishop takes c5, rook takes c5, knight takes c5, bishop h6 or something. It seems more natural to take with a knight, but there can be some issues. Let's say knight takes, bishop f4, knight back, knight b5, knight d6, or bishop, knight b5 looks pretty good. Bishop takes, or knight takes. Okay, what am I saying? Knight takes, bishop e5, knight back, knight b5 there. The exchange sack is interesting, but not here. No exchange sack here, friend. Yeah, he's listening to the stream. I know he is. You might be able to win your pawn back if you're very lucky. Actually, he has some crazy tactics. That's not what I expected. Roll mops. Is that like a literal thing? Does like rolling mops? I think it must be. It's a roll mop. Rolling mops. Gobble, roll mops. What is a gobble? Gobble. Gobble, gobble. Gobble, gobble. Gobble, gobble, roll mops. Alright, we have blockaded the key square. So I think instead of queen c2, he should have played knight b5. His play is very logical, but maybe a little too straightforward. You also have this, which of course isn't ideal. Gobble, gobble. What does the turkey say? Obviously, rook f7 is a serious option as well. I mean, white obviously has some compensation for the sacrificed pawn, positional compensation based on the backward pawn. But I'm happy, you know, I mean, I eliminated his center, most of it anyway. He still has d5. This is important, obviously. But now that, too late for that, brah. Try a different roll mop. We're very solid here. B2's hanging. We're very compact. D6, untouchable. Well, it's not untouchable, but I go after this pawn. Deployment insurance. Unemployment insurance. This position is a beautiful thing. Another pawn is a beautiful thing. Yum yum. Delicious. Can I have another? Metal Rob 7-8 is followed. The roll mops. Hi, I was viewing your Twitch. Good, good. Bring your friends. Okay, invasion of the body snatchers. Not welcome. We're gonna have to check and then watch this incursion here. However, shouldn't be a major problem because I'm going to lose my A pawn in some lines. King f7, because I'm up 2 pawns. I could just go rook e1. Bishop c8. Oh, so annoying. Bishop c8. Whatever. It looks like I'm going to have to give him something back. You can have one back. But I told you guys, what did I say? The beginning of the game, what did I say about this? Do you remember? The protected passed pawn is your friend. The banco, that's our big pawn. That's the protected passer. The B pawn goes, you have a protected passer on c5. And that's exactly what happened here. And now he's fully toast. Toast con. I thought he was fully toast, but maybe not. Shit. You have a trick? King f6, bishop g7, check, king g5. I'm not afraid. We could have gone h4 there. Crafty roll mops. He's a crafty roll mopple. Oh no, you still can't save it. Oh no. You destroyed my protected passed pawn. That sucks. He eliminated my protected passer on c5. That's so disappointing. Yeah. I'm playing better. The last game was 8 cent pawn loss, and I think this one might be close. Not quite as good. A little more sharp, but tricky. Yeah. I don't see any reason to take any risks here. Why am I going to take that pawn and let you take something to check? I'm just going to mate you. Okay. So analysis board. Not a bad game. 43 cent upon loss. 38. 48-38. Man, it's taking its time. One mistake. I made a mistake. Looks like I made a big mistake toward the end. But how was the game overall? 46 cent upon loss. Come on, that's too high. Too high. 42. 2 mistakes. No inaccuracies. Come on, it's taking forever. 38. That's too high. 36? What the fuck? 33? Getting warmer. Gobble roll mops played pretty well too. Down to 31, no inaccuracies, 2 mistakes. 29, no inaccuracies, 2 mistakes, sorry. 27 cent upon loss. I made 0 inaccuracies and 27 cent upon loss. 2 mistakes. Those are big ass mistakes, man. Wow. I made no inaccuracies until move 27. That's crazy. How could my... Acerbate, you're here. I beat Gobble Roll Mops. So check out this opening. The Queen C2. I wonder who that could be. Takes. Here. 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 G6. Nope. Anyway, we're going to transpose some games at some point here. Here. Dreyev Perunovic, 2015. Black has done fine. Tkachiev Perunovic. And now we transpose back into some kind of known line. So rook E1, knight G4. Now another Dreyev game, Dreyev Ivanisevic. Dreyev versus Serbia. H3 Hundyuk. Against Voldemir Schmidt, Polish Grandmaster, Senior. Knight C5, knight C5, bishop F1. This still has been played. And then my F5 is a TN. So, some dude played rook B8 here, but F5 is a TN. F5 is interesting. Sharp move. F5, F4, knight F7. Portnoy Fischer style. And what you did, it's insane. E5 is insane. It's a great, insane move, man. An inspired insanity by Roll Mops. Alright, guys. Inspired insanity. I don't think you should play E5. I think you're going too far. Look at the evaluation here. White is slightly better. I'm not sure, but this move is psychopathic, you know. This is very psycho. You're over the top. So okay, how are we doing? We still have time. I need subscribers, Acerbate. Tell them to subscribe. What are you guys doing? Come on. We need support. I'm a chess streamer. How can I have a chess stream without subscribers? I'm giving away all my knowledge here for free. You're getting free knowledge. And people need to subscribe. Support the stream. Acerbate watch streak reached. Acerbate is currently on a 15-game streak. I hate playing against the Nimzo. You know, I play the Nimzo myself. It's hard to play against. Yeah, and the Rogozin is annoying too. Okay, whatever. The Rogozin is basically a hybrid between the Queen's Gambit and the Nimzo. Essentially. I mean, that's what it is. It's a good opening, though. I've had a number of games against strong players here. In the Hungarian Team Championship Super League a couple years ago, I had played this line against Kovacevic and against Burkic as well. So two guys who've been over 2,600 and 2 draws. But the line is okay for black. ultimately. This is theory. Acerbate gifting a tier 1 sub to Pilium. Thanks to the game, roll mops. Don't forget, the Queen C2 Benko is... It's a dead giveaway. That's a very subtle line, as I mentioned. Oh my god. Acerbate has gifted 860 gift subs in the channel. It's a lifetime of gift subs. Hermucles. Sorry. Hercules. Hermucles. I need vision. Vision help. Alright, Hermucles. So H3, I don't know. My game with Kovacevic was a similar line, but I don't remember exactly. F7 looks very dubious, but not sure I can pull it off. Knight F7, I mean Knight G5. What the hell is going on there? Oh, let's see. Yeah, I'm kind of confused. Bishop C1 is a wild idea. Knight G5, Rook E7. This is dangerous for both sides. Danger. Thank you, Acerbate, for gifting the sub. Acerbate's coming to the rescue. Gifting 2 gift subs this week. We need everyone else to pitch in and sort of support the stream. Acerbate can't do it on his own. So now I guess, you know, I really don't like closing the lines. So my other option, you know, is to take. Freeze Black's position a lot, though, you know, honestly. So if I close the lines with D5, Black plays Knight B8, or maybe even Knight D4. D5, Knight D4, take, Knight E2. Not sure that's sound. But D5, Knight B8, and then what am I doing? You know, where's my attack? What attack? If I take, you know, that's nothing special either. So I don't know. At the end of the day, no one knows what's going on here. It's unclear, but it looks better for white. Black's rook on e7 is awkward. Can lead to issues. On the other hand, Black has a pretty solid blockade of the d6, I guess. Or does he? Let's say you play Knight b8 and I play Bishop c1. Am I threatening, like, d6? With that rook on e7 ever? I bet Acerbate would like this. Speaking of people who would like white here, this looks like something you could play, Acerbate. Don't castle. Knight on g5, h3, e3. Bishop on c4. Right up your alley. I guess Knight d4 has to be calculated, but it looks like I take, you take with check, and I can block with knight e2. And it doesn't appear that Black has anything there. You know, because d3 is prevented by bishop takes d3. That's probably not the end of the variation, though. If you want to take it out further, you can go knight d4, take, knight e2, d3. Bishop takes d3, queen takes d5, hitting the bishop on d3 and the g2 pawn. You know, it's a very complicated position. On the other hand, like knight d4 doesn't really force anything. So instead of bishop c1, I can play e4, which is a very standard sort of move. Bishop c1 is weird. Also, simply castling. Maybe better to just develop. But there goes my attack. What attack? He just kicked me out now. Okay, h6. 94, 94, 94. And white is slightly better. Nothing exciting. d6 is begging to be played. But what does it do? It's just like fancy move syndrome. I don't know what to do. Oh shit, I allowed knight b6. Alright, whatever. It's a bad bishop now. I don't care. Fine. You have knight b6. Take my bishop. I still have more space. Black is probably okay. I don't like e4. I don't know. Well, nothing to see here. Take my bishop. No, black's position is hard to play because he has this awkward rook and the power pawn on d5, power pawn presentation. So the bishop pair isn't quite worth as much as that monster pawn. So what's up with g6? What are you doing? What am I doing? More importantly. Mm-hmm. You could play b5. But I don't know if you want to do that. Trading my good bishop off? That's kind of a dumb idea. I think that's a dumb idea for me to play bishop c5. What should I do instead? b5, b4? Whoa. Okay, this is a different situation now. I mean, obviously d6 is possible. Fuck. I don't know what to do. Darn it. Yeah, this is a free hand. Not a fan of that move. But I've got to do something. He's very fast. And I said he's not related to Cheesy Noob, right? Do I take it back? Jesus. Wow. 2 bishops. Less time he has, the better he plays, apparently. Well, not exactly. Now my queen's trapped. I think I missed mate in one. Alright. Time management. Need to adapt to increment situation, but you played really well. You played a great game. I let it get out of control. Whew, there's a lot of mistakes there. The time really became crazy here. Everything was under control to a point, and then it got out of control. Bishop takes f4. Still not such a bad move, but I need to be very careful here. I blundered my e-pawn. Alright, anyway. A fun game, anyway. Mad NPC last game, then I gotta go. Alright, guys. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate the gift subs. Need some more gift subs and donations. Wow. Gobble Roll Mop says thanks. I'm going to look up what a roll mop is. I think that roll mops are mops that roll, but you can never be too sure. Mini mops or something. There's some book. I said the book site. Medimops. Medimops. That was it. Medimops. I'm like, what kind of name is that for a book ordering site? Medimops. Roll mops. Oh, it's a kind of herring? It's a red herring. Alright. This is for MURICA. Oh, pickled herring with onion and gherkin. That's funny. Now that I never would have guessed. That's the German language for you. Yeah, Fiverr is British English. I'm just trying to be funny with the British English there. So I don't know how bad this is for black, objectively. Asterbate gifting into Tier 1 sub to Hercules. Welcome every new peoples. It's been a long time since I played that line. Only the pros play it. Yeah, as I told you, I had 2 games with 2600s, and draw is the best I can do. I was winning against Burkic, but I was lucky. He was probably fine and overpressed, and then we were in mutual time pressure, and he was probably lost, but I gave him a draw. It was a very stressful game. I thought I was worse. It was scary, and sometimes that happens. I regret giving him a draw, but it'd been a long, stressful game. That line is very safe. I don't know what to do against Rogozin. Rogozin is, it's very popular. with strong players especially, and it seems like everybody plays it. But this queen a4, it's a little bit too simplistic, I think. And I think it's well, I've been playing it for a while now. I've known about it for 15 years, and so it's not new, you know. That's really how long the Rogozin has been popular. About 15 years. So, do I have any tactics with F7 again? Wow, Asterbait gifting in. What happened? No, we got a hype train incoming. Nice. Now how am I going to leave with a hype train? Interesting position. Bishop G5. This is just inspiration. Yeah, so... But I'll be honest about the Rogozin. I mean, I prefer to avoid it. But my move order is oftentimes I play knight f3 early, so I have to play it a lot of times. If it's a Queen's Gambit, like d4, d5, c4... I had a game like this a couple weeks ago. Then I'll play knight c3 if it's a normal Queen's Gambit. I prefer not to go into the Rogozin. I don't know how white can get... I don't know how white can get an advantage. I mean, Carlsen plays it. Aronian played it. Mamajara played it a lot. It feels almost unfair. It's like playing d5 in the Nimzo. How can you get away with this? Crazy, man. Don't do it, Asterbait. Guys, 3 gift subs from Asterbait today. Thank you so much. Playing the Cat Alley, yeah, that's even worse. It's so much theory and so over-analyzed. I've tried everything. Well, I mean, this is why people started playing Chess 960, because opening theory is kind of overloaded. But I think that Magnus's philosophy, you just got to accept that, you know, openings will probably be equal. And we have to try for, you know, winning positions that are essentially equal. Try to get an advantage. What do I do here? Takes on d4. Takes on d4, takes on d4. Bishop f6. Takes on d4. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Queen d7, what a move. You got out of the pin. Holy shit. Alright. Now what do I do? Bishop f6. So, Bishop f6. And then Queen d3. And I take on h7 with check. Or I take first. Take first is bad. This is insane. I mean, how can black play like this? FM Solar Blast. No, Bishop Sacrifice doesn't work. Because black has Queen f5. This is a very nice move by black. And FPC comes up with some pretty crazy ideas. Why doesn't he recapture here, though? I mean, oh, maybe he's thinking about Bishop takes b2. Well, that's bad. I assume he just takes here on f6. But maybe I assumed wrong. So, I mean, basically this was my question. I don't know what's going on here. I did it all for the acerbate. I did it all for the acermate. Too heavily influenced by acerbate's play. For your donation, sir, we play for this cheapo. With, of course, a double attack against the d4 bishop, but I don't know if this is enough. You know, I've sacrificed, what, 2 pawns? Bishop f2. There's no need to do that. That's panic. The acerbate battery. Again, of course. Yeah. He panicked with bishop takes f2 check. I don't think that's necessary or good. You know, you're not getting mated. You have to walk away like Victor Korchnoi here. So what's really happening? Yeah. The truth is that you're okay. I expected queen g4. I wasn't sure about that. But mainly I expected bishop takes c5. And then you sacrifice this pawn and walk away. And who the fuck knows what's going on here? I'm down a pawn. I sacrificed a pawn. It's a little scary, but I mean, I have no development. What am I going to do? I have to do knight c3. And then your point is that your king can evacuate, you know, out into there. Yeah, bishop takes h7, I didn't see it mattering much. So I misplayed this position in many ways, probably. Wow. So I could have won. But it's a weird move, like queen d1. Or queen d3 immediately, which I missed. Queen d3 immediately. Shit. So bishop g5 is a terrible decision. But if we go back a little further, okay, you're making a mistake here. By surrendering the center. Or not. It's not bad, apparently. Okay, e takes d4. You can go back with knight e8. But apparently you have this even crazier move. Zyatinov. Zhyatinov's like 1900 now. He probably like sold all his rating points. But he posted a photo, crazy photo, on Facebook yesterday. An amazing photo. It was Romanician against Zyatinov. And it was like World Junior Championship or European Junior Championship. I can't remember. 1972. It was the year I was born and the year that Bobby Fischer played Spassky, of course. And amazingly, they're still both alive. Romanician is, I thought Romanician was older, but maybe not. So anyway, yeah, this is crazy. Wow. Yeah, usually white castles first, but I decided to try this. I don't really know what I'm doing. This is best move. e5 is best. And so rook e8. And there's hardly any games here. But check it out. It's Tivyakov Zyatinov. And Tivyakov was the world's leading expert in the whirl attack. And I think it's a good system because it's not played that much. So rook e8 you always want to face off against that queen in some way. So Tivyakov castles, and now Zyatinov went wrong. Zyatinov tried to take on c3. This is, wow. Greedy. But black can play bishop f8. And there's another game. Young Robin Spinkles. I think he's a GM, but doesn't play or whatever. C takes d4, d6. Wow. And black is okay, apparently. Very interesting line. Thanks for playing that, Mad NPC. I gotta go, guys. It was fun playing you. Tune in for my menu simul on Sunday. Classical simul with a different opening repertoire every week. So we don't know what we're gonna get. Sunday, 7 p.m. Central European Time. Asterbait, thanks for your support. Thanks, everybody. Interesting games today. We had some interesting openings. I like this. This was quite fun. Snedsteg. Late. You are late. All right, last game. I gotta go. This is really my last game. I was gonna sign off. If he's not here, I'm gone. I never do well in these games when I was like saying goodbye. Usually I lose because I want to go and I'm like disappointed. My heart isn't in it, but I'll try. Man, what's up with everyone playing the Scotch? I get so many people playing the Scotch, it's like ridiculous. Weaker players, mostly. Are people doing like chessable courses on the Scotch or something? Because honestly, I don't think the Scotch seems that great. It doesn't seem like a serious consideration. Until a point, maybe, but either you play the Roy Lopez, the Joko, or like the Four Knights or something, or even the Vienna game. I don't know. I don't really like the Scotch. I don't get it. You know. Why can't I play Knight f6 here? You serious? Okay, Knight f6, blah 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 blah. Yeah, we always want to put the knight on f6. e7 is too passive. And f3. We're getting very close to Steinitz versus Mr. X after this. X versus Steinitz. I can't remember who Steinitz played it against, but he was my inspiration. I mean, we're fine here. What did Steinitz do? He did like knight a5. But the knight was on c3 or something. Knight a5. Holy shit, Batman. Can I do that? Well, that way I don't get my pawn structure blown up. Bishop e2. I guess it's better. Knight a5 is probably better with the knight on c3 because I can fork your pieces with d4. Maybe this isn't so great for me. I don't know. But I feel like this g6 system for black against the Scotch is very easy to play. There are some technical problems, but most people don't know what they're doing with white and they get a bad game. Yeah, you could definitely sell a good chessable course. You're transposing into c5 now. Isn't that like an oof sort of scenario? Or do you have some kind of tactical trick? You have a tactical trick? If you go knight b5, I can play a6. Stensig is going to have to get creative and like do some Houdini stuff here. Knight b5, d4. Bishop f4. So here he's simply sacking a piece for a couple pawns. Couple pawns. Rook e8 is interesting. In between move. So my knight is sidelined. Side knight. But wait, I can take... You take on g7. Okay, I get it. So my knight is stuck. You're threatening b4. Stuck knight. Stucco. Fianchetto knight. So it's a question of how much compensation white has. He has 2 pawns for the piece. You're playing the Halloween Gambit. b4, knight b7. I'll accept it. You get half credit. Coffee house blitz game. Bye bye knight. Bye bye everyone. I gotta go. Lesson time. If anyone's interested in lessons, I do private lessons, but only if you commit to take lessons on a regular basis. Someone tried to like get me to sell lessons as a gift for people or something. I'm like, dude, I can't do that. Just doing one lesson with people? That's stupid. Well, I can't really see a better path here. Bishop a6 doesn't work. We're gonna have to live with this. We are up a piece, though. Yeah, I have interesting ideas. Asterbate has interesting ideas. Right, Asterbate? The Benoni. Guys, we'll see you on Sunday. After I lose this game. After I get swindled. Yeah, not the first time this NetStag does swindly beating me from worst position stuff. Why is he 1862? By the way? Weren't you like 200 points higher? I'm almost in Suzhuang, it feels like. Don't like his pin. Knight e8? Maybe. It creates more weaknesses. Wasn't he like 2200 or something? He hit his head when Trump arrested him. Alright, that's fortunate. I was more concerned about f4. He's not the same. He hasn't been the same since Trump kidnapped him. His rating dropped from like 2100 to 18. Understandable. Now what do I do? That's annoying. I'll tell you what I'll do. Ah ha ha. Ah ha ha ha. Time. Last game, guys. Will it ever end? So let's think you've done this before. Like, you always wait until the last challenge. I think he does it on purpose. I'm beginning to suspect that. How many times does he come with, like, the late last challenge? He knows I'm more vulnerable or something. He knows I'm more paranoid. Oh, for fuck's sake. Alright. The knight is a good defender. Get out of my swamp. Oh my god. What a move that is. A4 triple exclam. Engine number 1. That's a crazy move. You sack the pawn to create like connected pawns down the middle. That's a great move to find. Low time. That's a great move, seriously. Unbelievable. Absolutely great move. Can't allow this. This is crushing. You know, rook a7. So I'm still unable to make progress. Even though he only has 2 pawns for a piece. Very tedious. I just want to go home. Let me go home. We're up a piece. Resign. Come on. Make it easy. 1 move threat detector. All right. No, I mean, you had some practical chances, and you're right not to resign in that game. Looks like d5 is a mistake. I think your knight needs to be on c3 for this to really make sense. Which you did immediately. Put your knight on c3. Knight e5 is better. Ah, interesting. Knight e5, bishop e2, d5, a la Steinitz. But that gives me knight g4. So, computer hates this line for me, but I don't know why. I had knight takes e4. Oh, fuck. It's a very unusual order of moves that doesn't usually happen. Whoa. Oh my gosh. Fe4, queen h4 check. Good to know. King d2, bishop takes d4. Wow. No, king d2, knight takes d4, or bishop takes d4. Well, that just loses a piece. But what about like king f1 or something? Now queen takes. All of his pieces are hanging. That's a nice tactic to know about. But it's really unusual that white doesn't play knight c3. You know, this move basically never happens. This position would basically just never happen. I missed it twice. I could just play d5 here. Alright guys, anyway. Good to go. I'll see you on Sunday. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support, donations, subs, give subs. See you on Sunday. Simul, MURICA. Fight the power.